shoulder at your opponent. And the reason that you point your front shoulder at your opponent is because they only have half to hit you. So Cheryl points her shoulder at Eddie. You can only hit so much. When you're pointed, you only have half. If she squares up, now you have the whole torso to hit. And if you have that to hit, that's the target that you don't want. You know what I mean? You want to point your, back to your stance. You want to point your front shoulder. So like when how Eddie's pointing his shoulder at Cheryl, she only has half of him to hit. If he squares up, square up Eddie, she has the whole torso to hit. And you don't want to do that. The other thing you want to do is your footwork, your feet placement. You want to have about shoulder width apart. It can be a little closer. It can be a little wider. You know, some people have longer legs than others. It's a comfort zone. Cheryl's very comfortable. She has good bend in her knees. Eddie has good bend in his knees. They're very comfortable. You don't want to be too wide. Cheryl, just go wide. If you're too wide, you can't punch, you can't move, you can't go right, you can't go left because you're out of position. And when we talk about punching, all your punching is in your rotation. And if you have that wide stance, then you have no rotation. The other thing that you want to work on is you want to have your hands up. Rule of thumb is have them up to your temples. A lot of misconceptions in boxing is people say put your hands up, and they do this, and they put their heads down. Well, that's not putting your hands up, that's putting your head down. And then you're looking at someone's feet, and that's not where you're aiming. So your hands have to come up. Your head doesn't have to go down. As you see with Cheryl and Eddie, how his hands are up by his temples. So everything, if the person throws a hook, it blocks right here. You know what I mean? If his hand was down and they throw a hook, he gets caught on the chin. That's not good. That's not what we're looking for. You have to go offense to defense. The point is to not get hit. The other thing is your elbows are in. So get your hands back up. If you leave your elbows out wide, you're going to get hit with a body shot. And any boxer will tell you, getting hit with a body shot is torture. You get hit with a shot in the chin, you can recover from it. If you get hit with a shot in the body, it's going to take a little time. So notice how the elbows are tucked in. The elbows are tucked in. They're not out wide. Put your elbows out wide. They're not out wide so you can reach around and hit her with a body shot. Same thing with Eddie. If his elbows are out wide, you can catch him with that body shot. The elbows are tucked in. The hands are up. And the final thing, and the most important, is your chin down. Now, when they say chin down, it doesn't mean bury your chin into your chest, because again, you'd be looking at the ground. That's not your target. But you want to keep it under your shoulder. So if I'm here, or if Cheryl, her chin is under her shoulder. You know what I mean? So if someone tries to graze a shot over Cheryl, they're going to hit her shoulder, and then it will go into her chin. Whereas if her chin was in the air, they come right over her shoulder, and she's in trouble. Same thing with Eddie. You come here, you hit the shoulder, but if his chin's up in the air, you come right over the shoulder and you're going to hit him with a right hand. And I would say the most important thing is comfort. You know, I can tell you hands up, chin down, and you be in there stiff and it just doesn't work. You need to be super relaxed, super comfortable, as Cheryl and Eddie are. Just relaxed, comfortable, and you'll come into your own of, okay, this is where I feel comfortable, or maybe this is where I feel comfortable, or maybe this is where I feel comfortable. But it's all a comfort level. Hands up, chin down, elbows in, feet about shoulder width apart, point your front shoulder at your opponent, so you only give them half of you to hit, and be comfortable. After you have your stance in place, the first punch that fighters are shown is a jab. A jab is the most effective punch in boxing. It keeps the other fighter off balance. And a couple things with your jab is you want to bring it straight out from your side. If your arm goes up and you jab, you're kind of pushing it and you're leaving yourself wide open. So your jab comes right out from there and it comes right back to your chin. If your jab comes out and then goes low, they can come over the top. So it comes right out and it goes right back. The other thing with the jab, as you'll see with all the punches that we show, is your feet move at the same time. So if Cheryl wants to close the distance to me, she jabs and steps forward. If she don't step forward, if you jab and you don't step forward, you're leaning. And what happens is I can counter and come over the top. So as you jab, you step with it. When your left hand goes out, your left foot starts to come forward. When your left hand is fully extended, or if it's a southpaw, your right hand is fully extended. When that is fully extended, that's when your foot should hit the ground. So it should look like that. It shouldn't look, if you do this, you're off key. If you do this, you're off key. It wants to be simultaneous and rhythmic, just like that. And when you move your front foot, you move your back foot. Because, as I said in your stance, you always want to be about shoulder width apart. If you move this one a foot, then you got to move your right foot a foot. If you move a foot in 6 inches, you're off. So if your front foot is a foot, your back foot is a foot. If your back foot is 6 inches, your front foot is 6 inches. And no matter where you go, you're always in your stance. So if I move forward, my front foot goes first. If I move back, my back foot goes first. To the right, my right foot. To the left, my left foot. That way you don't cross over, get knocked off balance. You don't cross over, get knocked off balance. And if you're coming forward and you move your back foot first, that's not your stance. Same thing as if you're going backwards. That's not your stance. So Cheryl will jab. She'll take a small step forward, and she snaps the jab. You don't push it, because if you push it, you get lazy and people can counter off it. So you want to snap it. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Go backwards. Just take a few steps back. Do it again. That's it. That's it. That's it. Again, notice how she steps with a small step with the jab. She brings both feet, and she's snapping that jab. In boxing, they like to say, when you hit somebody, it's like hitting a hot iron. If you get it and you leave it out here, they can counter. But you get it and you get it back. Good. That's the jab. After you learn the jab, the other basic punch is a right hand. Again, it starts in your stance, it stays up high. Another thing is when you jab, after you jab and you're going to throw a right hand, your left hand doesn't come down. When you're throwing your left hand, your right hand is high. When you're throwing your right hand, your left hand is high. That way you can't get countered. So there's two ways to throw a right hand. The guy stands in front of you, you catch him with a good jab and he stands in front of you, and you turn on your back foot and you throw a right hand. And the other way is you back the guy up with the jab and he takes a step backwards and you got to kind of follow him with your right hand. First we'll start with he stands there and you just rotate. As we were talking about, the rotation of the punch is where all the power comes from. Real quick, if I was to stand you in the air and hold you by the back of your shirt up in the air, this is how you'd be punching. There's no power on that. But the minute I put you on the floor and you can rotate, that's where all your power comes in. Boom, the rotation of your punches. Your hips, your heels, your shoulders, your arm is the last thing to go. So in order to do that, what we do is we turn our heel out. If we're throwing a right hand, we turn our back heel, our right heel out. And we put it, so you can put it in layman's terms, it's like putting out a cigarette. If a cigarette was under your foot, you want to put it out. So you kick your back heel. When you kick your heel, it forces your hip to turn. When you turn your hip, it forces your shoulders to turn, and then your hand's the last thing to come out. So if we're going to do it super slow, turn your heel, turn your hip, turn your shoulder, the right hand is the last thing to come out. Okay. Yeah. 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 More. Now another thing you want to notice is when Eddie's throwing his right hand, he's not leaning forward because there's no power on that. The other problem with that is if he leans forward when he throws his right hand, boom. You don't want to do that. If he stays compact and he does it, yeah, right here. Boom. You know what I mean? You can't catch him with the hook because he's right there. If he leans forward, boom. You catch him with that hook all day long. So again, he turns his heel, makes his hip turn, makes his shoulder turn. His arm is the last thing to come out, and he doesn't lean. He stays right in his center of balance in his stance. The other kind of right hand is when you follow somebody. So Eddie hits me with a jab and it backs me up. So now he has to follow me. If he just sits and turns, he's not going to hit me. Take a step back. So he steps with his jab at me, and now he's going to step with his right hand. He stepped with his left hand, left hand, left foot. Now it's right hand, right foot. So he steps, right hand comes out. And again, he doesn't go 1 foot 6 inches because it's not his stance. If it's 6 inches, it's 6 inches. If it's a foot, it's a foot. So you always end up in your stance. So he takes a small step with the jab, Notice, yep, go back. Takes a small step with the jab, distance. Now he takes a small step with the right hand, and he's in his stance again. When you're taking that step, you kind of want to, we worked on turning. So when you take that step, you kind of want to turn with that right hand. So you're here, and then you turn a little bit and step. So you end up like this. So it's here, here. So throw the jab, then the right hand. Bang. Go back a step, put it together. That's it. Don't step back. Stay there, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's go over those two again. Just a straight rotation and step. There's the right hand. Now that we have the straight punches down, the jab and the right hand, now we're going to put the left hook behind it. Everything right-handed, left-handed, I mean, we're showing right-handed fighters, so it's jab, straight right hand, left hook. With a righty, it's just the opposite. It's the same thing, it's just opposite. It's jab, left hand, hook. So if you are a left-hander, we are only showing righties, but everything is the same, it's just in reverse order. So now when you throw the left hook, it's the same thing as when you're throwing your right hand as far as rotation goes. You're going to turn your heel out, which turns your hip, which turns your shoulder, and your hand is the last thing, your arm is the last thing to go. There's many schools of thought on how to throw a left hook. None of them are wrong. Some people say you hold your hand this way. Some people say you hold your hand this way. It's all preference. How do you feel comfortable with it? It's not this is right, this is wrong. It's how do you feel comfortable. As far as the distance, you kind of want, people say you want to hold a basketball, act like you have a basketball inside. Sometimes it's too wide, sometimes it's too short. Again, it's all comfort. The key is the rotation. You want to hit just like this, okay? So when I throw the left hook, I just turn the heel, it forces everything to turn, and the arm just comes right across. It's almost like if Cheryl was, just stand square for me, just square up. If she was going to hold her hands out like this and just turn. There's your hooks, just like that. That's how your hook should be. That's a good drill to practice on hooks. You just stand here and you just rotate, because that's your hook. There's left hook, left hook. Notice my arms are not moving. It's just my hips that are moving. My torso is moving. My arms are not moving at all. So again, she turns her heel out, which forces her hip, which forces her shoulder, and her arm is just the last thing to go. Yeah, yeah. One more. Notice how the right hand stays high. If her right hand drops, and she goes to throw a left hook at me and I go to throw a left hook at her, she gets caught. If she's technically right and I'm technically wrong, boom, throw right here, boom. You know what I mean? So the right hand is up. When you're punching with your right hand, your left hand is up. When you're punching with your left hand, your right hand is up. So, yeah. Notice the rotation, the snap. One more. That's the hook to the head. Now you can just transfer that to a hook to the body. A little more difficult. But here's what you want to do. You don't want to throw a hook to the body standing up tall, because you can get countered. So what you want to do is you want to sit down a little more and you want to break down. You don't want to lean over. You can get hit with a counter shot. But you want to break down. You want to break down on your front foot. You want to collapse your front knee. And you want to break down. The purpose is to hit the liver. That's the purpose. You hit someone with a liver shot, they're going. So you break down and you turn it up. You don't hit it across because you're going to miss. You're just going to graze the front of their stomach. You want to turn it up and you want to find a spot behind the elbow and you want to just turn it up. Go ahead, lean over. That's it, just like that. See how she breaks down? She takes a small step. She breaks down in her front knee. Her right hand stays high, and she turns it up. Yeah. 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 One more. That's your left hook. Now we're going to work a right hand to the body. Two ways you can throw a right hand to the belly. You can throw it straight, or you can hook it in. You throw it straight, you're coming right for the midsection. You sit down, you drop, and you turn. If you're throwing it as a hook, it almost acts as like a left hook. You want to get it behind the elbow, and the object is to hook it in right at the elbow. Hook it right in there. Bang. A couple techniques is when you can't throw a right hand to the belly standing up tall because you're going to get countered. So you usually do it off a jab, and you sit with your jab. You don't jab, then sit, because the guy or the girl can see it coming. You want to sit when you jab, so you're already down there, and again, it's just rotation. That's all it is. You want to sit when you jab and turn. We'll do it off the. We'll do it. He's already going to jab, so he's just going to sit and turn. Rotation of the hips again. Turn the heel so the hips turn, so the shoulders turn, and then your hand is the last thing, your arm is the last thing to come out. So sit and drive it. Yeah. Again, he's down low, so he can't get countered over the top. You throw right here right to the belly. Throw right to the belly. Can't get countered over the top. Can't get countered over the top. He's underneath everything. When you throw a straight right hand to the belly, it's to just kind of freeze the guy for a second. The guy's getting real comfortable. He's getting a little cocky and stuff like that. So you want to sit down, and you just kind of want to freeze him. So sit and drive. The other important thing about punching to the body is punch hard to the body. The guy's head, or the fighter's head, can move all day. They can slip and they can weave, but their body never moves. So when you get to the position of punching to the body, you want to sit down, and you want to punch, bang, bang. You want to really tread everything on the body, because it's not going anywhere. The person's head can move all day. But you get down there, you sit down, and you really rip them. When you're throwing the hook to the body, the right hook to the body, the ideal situation is to do it off somebody's jab. So if the person is jabbing, you beat their jab with the hook to the body. For those who didn't see Roy Jones knock out Virgil Hill with it, bang, just like that, and you hit him right there. A little trick to the right hook to the body is to step over with it. Because what you want to do is you want to get yourself in place. You want to step over with your front foot, and you want to get yourself in place to throw this one right here. Bang. So I'm here. I see the jab coming. He's going to step over. Body shot. Throw it right here. Body shot. See what I'm saying? Steps over, hooks it right in. And then he comes back with this one. Bang, just like that. That's your right hand to the belly. The last punch that we're going to talk about before we start putting punches together is an uppercut. You can throw right uppercut, left uppercut, basically throw them the same way. You want to sit down. You don't want to stand up tall when you do it. You want to sit, and you kind of want to pop your shoulders up. And you want to throw them right up the middle. Most people's stance, get in your stance, when you get inside, they do not close up, they stay open. So this is great, but right up the middle, you pick their head right up. You always see it in boxing, someone goes up like that. That's that uppercut coming up the middle. You don't want to shift your elbow back. You're not winding up to throw it. It's right from here, and bang, it's right up the middle. It's right up the middle. Right uppercut. Notice, again, when she's punching with her right hand, her left hand is up high. When she's punching with her left hand, her right hand is up high. You don't want to get countered. Right uppercut. Yeah. Yeah, pop. Same thing with the left uppercut. Yeah. 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 And again, the key is to split the person's guard. Right up the middle. Right up the middle. See that? Chin comes right up. Other one. Yeah. Yeah. Those are your basic punches. Your jab, your right hand, your hook, your body shot, and your uppercut. I've showed you the offense. Now it's time to work the defense. Great fighters, difference between good fighters and great fighters is defense. People who don't get hit, longevity in their career. People who do get hit, you're not going to last long. The other thing is when you go into your defensive mode, You need to be able to go offense to defense, defense to offense, like that. Because in a fight, it doesn't happen where, okay, I'm going to punch, okay, now you're going to punch. It's all one after another, after another, after another. So we're going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to break the punches down and how to defend it. The first one's a jab. When you block a jab, you're catching it like you catch a baseball. So if I was to jab Cheryl, she just catches it. She doesn't come forward, because if she comes forward, I come over the top. Come out and catch it. I just come over the top. So she stays right there, catch, 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 catch. Nice and relaxed the whole time. You don't want to be in there and be tense because you're not going to know what to do. Nice and relaxed, catch, catch, catch. The offense off of that is your jab back. Someone jabs at you, you catch it, and you jab them right away. And it's not a process of waiting a second, jab me. It's not catch, then jab. It's whap, bap, bap, bap. So I'll jab Cheryl, she'll catch it, and she'll jab back. And it's, again, it's a speed timing thing. Again, notice how she doesn't reach with her right hand to catch it. She just lets it come to her. Any fighter you fight, they're trying to hit you in the chin. They're not trying to hit you out here. They're trying to hit you in the chin. So you can wait for it to get to you. If everybody was just punching here, it'd be real easy. So again, she waits, she's patient, she just catches and returns the jab right away. Catching a jab. Now we go to the right hand. When someone's throwing a right hand at you, again, the key is to catch it on your gloves. So when someone throws a right hand, if Eddie's going to throw a right hand at me, and my hands are up, I want to turn away slightly. Not enough so you turn away so you can't see the punch, because then you don't know what's coming back at you. But just enough where you catch it, and you get a little bit of rotation in your hips, because you're going to come back with your own right hand. And as we talked about, rotation is the key to punching. So if he's going to throw a right hand at me, I'm going to turn slightly, just enough to get a little rotation, and then I'm going to rotate back. Boom, right down the middle. Most fighters, after they punch, they stand right in front of you. They'll throw a punch and stop. That's when you come back. So again, he throws a right hand at me, I turn, and I come back with my own right hand. So I'll throw the punch at Eddie, he'll turn slightly, and then he'll come back with his own right hand. It's almost like if you were going to, again, to put it in layman's terms, if you were going to agitate a washing machine, it just turned, boom, 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 boom. So he turns, I throw the right hand at him, he turns, bang, right away. Bang, turn a little more, turn a little more, bang, 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 bang. Again, he stays balanced, his hands are up. When he's punching with his right hand, his left hand is high. His left hand is what he uses to catch it. And that's how you go offense to defense on a right hand. Left hook is very similar. You don't turn as far away because you want to snap the hook off right away. So the minute you feel it, it's right back with it. So if Cheryl throws a left hook at me, I'm here. It's really, really slight turn, but it's enough to catch, and then it comes right back. Boom. So she throws the hook at me. Bah. I throw the hook at her. Right here, right here. Yep. Bah. Notice how she's turning on her heels, just like she's doing the offense. Exactly. Turn. Yeah. Yep. One hand's up, one hand's punching. Good balance, rotation in the hips. Catch the hook, throw the hook. Next, we're going to move to the uppercuts. As I talked about, people usually keep their guards wide and they don't tighten up when they're on the inside because it's not proper to throw an uppercut from the outside. You're going to get in trouble. People throw uppercuts from inside. So when you get on the inside, to protect from the uppercut, you just tighten up a little and you catch the uppercut. Again, don't try to come down here and catch it because you're going to get hit with the hook over the top. Same thing here. Don't come down here to try to catch it because you're going to get hit with a right hand over the top. You want to stay there, and the minute you feel it, you turn the opposite hand over. So if you're catching an uppercut with your right hand, you throw a left hook. If you're going to catch it with a left hook, you throw a straight right hand. I'm sorry, if you catch it with your left hand, you're going to throw straight right. So they catch my right uppercut, and then they turn the hook over. Because here's the key. If they throw the hook here, this is the hand the person's punching with, so this is what's open. That's the side you want to attack because that's what's open. Same thing here. If I throw an uppercut here, that's what's open, that's where you want to attack. So we catch a right uppercut, throw the hook, catch an uppercut, throw the right hand. Okay. Show it to you nice and in close. Uppercuts. The last punch is the body shot. You have to defend body shots because you don't want to get hit by them. When someone's throwing a body shot at you, whether it's a left hook or a right hook, you want to dip into it. And as we talk about it, I just do this and Cheryl just automatically dips. You want to just, if they're going to that side, dip into it. If they're coming to this side, dip into it. And the reason is because you're loading that punch. So if I hit her with the body shot here, she loads into it because she's coming back with that uppercut. If I throw the body shot here, she dips into it because she's coming back with that shot. And it's, again, you're looking for the opening. If they're here, that's what's open. Boom, right up the middle. If they're here, that's what's open. Boom, right up the middle. Whatever they give you, that's what you want to take. And she's returning an uppercut. So again, she stays low, she rotates, she doesn't stand straight up. Ready? Yeah. 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 One more time. We're going to get a little more advanced now. We're going to talk about angles. The importance of an angle is, and if you stand right in front of somebody, you're going to get hit. But there's no two ways about it. But if I'm just a little bit to my right, I'm not in front of her, I'm not in front of him, I can shoot one over the top without getting hit. Same way as if I'm over here, I'm not directly in front of them, I can throw over the top and get hit. So what Cheryl's going to do is she's going to show you two kinds of step overs. It's a basic, she's going to throw a jab right hand, then she's going to step to her right and throw a right hand. She's going to throw a jab right hand, weave underneath and step to her right and throw a right hand. The key concept when you're stepping over is, again, if you're moving to your right foot goes first. If you're moving to your left foot goes first. You can't move to your right and move your left foot first. That's not you're off balance. That's not your stance. So to slow it down real quick, it's a jab, then a right hand, and now she's going to step to her right. She's going to use her right foot, and then her left foot follows. So again, she's in her stance. Come back to the front. So it's jab, right hand, step to your right, right hand. And again, you're just getting off to the side. I'm just going to stand here, throw them right at me. And she's off to the side. So again, here's where I'm looking at, but here's where she is. So here's what happens. I turn, bingo. So let's just do that. And off that right hand, you throw a left hook. Throw the hook behind it now. The other one is you weave underneath. Same movement, only someone's throwing something back at you, and you step underneath. It's the same step, same movement, only you're coming underneath someone's punch. And the right hand comes with it. So let's do that. One more time. And the left hook follows the right hand. Because you move both feet. One more time. Step into your right on an angle. When you step to your left, it's a little different. You don't want to just straight step to your left because if you're fighting a right-handed fighter, that's their power shot. So you don't want to step over to your left because you're walking right into their money, and you don't want to do that. So if you're trying to avoid a punch and go to your left, you want to start with your left hook because it gets you momentum going to the left, and it just throws the guy off for a second. So the left hook comes, then they try to counter you, and you go underneath it, and you step and pivot out. Again, when you're going to your left foot goes first, then your right foot follows. In this situation, we're going to step and pivot. And the reason we're going to pivot, as you see, is we're in our stance, and we can go right back to our jab. So nice and slow. We get the hook. Then here comes the counter shot where we step underneath it, and we pivot out, and we're back to our stance for a jab. Or a double jab to get our combination going again. Come back here. Nice and slow. Hook. Step pivot. Double jab. Okay. One more time. Nice and fast. That's how you step to your left. There's basic head movements. It's you slip to your right, slip to your left, weave underneath, and just sitting straight down. When you move your head, you want to bend at your waist, not at your knees. If you bend like this, that's not, you want to be here and you want to bend. You know what I mean? You want to bend. You don't, moving your head does not constitute, if I'm going this way, doing this. That's not good. Your hands are always up. That's not good. When you move your head, it's here, here, side to side. So your hands are up and it's just moving. If you feel comfortable, you can move your feet while you do it. Some people don't like to. I personally do not like to. Just move. Notice how her hands are up. She's bending at the waist. And the other thing is, you don't go all the way down, because if she goes all the way down, when I throw my right hand, she has to come all the way back up. Crack. So you just do it enough to miss. So if the person does throw a right hand after, boom, boom, they're gone. Boom, boom. If you go all the way and come back, whack. Not good. So it's real quick movements. Whap, 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 whap. The other one is going underneath. You can weave underneath left hooks. Now when you weave underneath left hooks, that's when you want to move your feet. Because this, it's okay, but we want to punch off it. The whole key to head movement is moving and then exploding on someone. Make them miss, then make them pay. So when you weave to your right, you step your right foot first, then your left foot, and you just weave. The easiest way to do it, as I was taught, was picture the letter U. You're one end of the U, go to the other end of the U. So I'm here, I make the letter U, and I move my feet at the same time. So I'm going to my right, so my right foot's going to go, then my left foot's going to go, just like that. And if I'm going back to my left, it's my left foot, then my right foot, and I'm one end of the U, and I'm coming back to the other end of the U. So it's left foot, right foot. And what that does is that gets my momentum to punch. So I go here, and I go here. I don't want to weave this way and throw a left hook because I have nothing on it. All my weight's right here. All my power's right here. So I want to rotate back. So we'll just weave underneath. Notice how she steps with both feet. Her hands are up high. She's always on balance. She's always in her stance. And then she'll come up and punch. Left hook. Right hand. Left hook. Right hand. The other one is just sitting down. And basically, the person is just going to go over your head, and it's a lot easier to hit them in the body. And it's basically sitting down. Just bend your knees and sit down. Don't lean forward. You know what I mean? Don't bend at the waist. Bend at your knees, and just sit right down. And then you can drive that body shot right home. See how she's just sitting down? That's all she's doing. Go ahead. Yeah. Now, if we want to put them together, the head movement, the side to side, and the weave. Again, just the side to side. There. Small movements. Hands are up. It's almost rhythmic. When you're weaving underneath, it's stepping, making the letter U. You're one end of the U, go to the other. And then you just sit down. Sit down. Now to put these together, so if someone's throwing a long combination at you and you want to make a miss, you miss all four punches. Okay, ready? Ooh. That's head movement. A couple more concepts that were brought to my attention when I was coming up by my trainer, again, Jimmy Farrell, who picked it up from Customato, was two concepts. One is to move and then punch. One is to punch and then move. Basically, the head movement that we showed you and the punches that we've shown you, and kind of put them together. Because again, the key is to hit and not get hit. You know, you want to hit somebody and then get out of the way. You want to make them miss and then hit them. So what we'll do first is Eddie will move his head and then punch. He will do the moving, then punching. So basically, I'll throw a shot at him and he'll counter shot off that. So he's going to slip a jab first. He'll throw a right hand, left hook. Again, he's just moving enough to miss the punch, and when he comes back, he explodes. He rotates, he churns, he explodes. Faster. Attaboy. Other thing, you can slip the same punch and go the other way, and come back with a left hook right hand. Again, moving and then punching. Just enough to miss the punch. Rotate. Now it's your weave underneath. Step into your right and you're weaving. You come back, right hand, left hook. Same thing going to your left. You weave to your left, you move your left foot first, you come back and punch. Now you put them all together. So it'll be that way, and then under twice. Nice and relaxed, do it again. That's moving and punching. Now we're going to show you the other aspect of punching and then moving. We just showed you moving and punching, now we're going to show you punching and moving. Again, she's just punching and then getting out of the way because she doesn't want to get hit. And do it the other way. So someone goes to throw a right hand at you, boom, boom. Or even if they throw a jab at you, you can go that way, and you can set something up on the other side. Same thing with weaving. You throw a couple punches, and then you get underneath. 2-1. That's it, 2-1. Move your feet. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah? That's punching and moving. Work the jab and just move. There you go. Good. Good. Excellent. I want to see jabs. I want a jab. Defense up. I want you to get short of make it defense. Thank you. Step forward and do it again. Left hand drop. Walk forward off the jab. Step forward on the jab. Nice. I'm Steve Mays, and you're going to learn how to strike. Do it again. That right hand sucked. In fighting in general, whether it's boxing or MMA, there's a saying that goes along that Customato had, and it is when two men fight, it's a test of will, not a test of skill. The man with the most will win the fight, provided the other man's skill is not so great that his will is not tested. And what that basically means is when two people are in the ring and they're going at it, and their skill is equal, the person who wants it more will win the fight. So if you're tired, you got to realize that the person across the ring from you or across the cage from you is just as tired. He's in the same fight that you're in. He's just as tired as you, if not more tired. So you're going to have to dig down and get something more than he has. You have to want it more. Your will has to be stronger. In some cases, people's skills are stronger than the other person's will, which means they're a better fighter, they're a better boxer, so it doesn't matter. You can't test their will. But when two people are equal, and it's the third round of a fight or a title fight, and you're tired and you don't want to go back out there, it's your will against his will. So the person with the most will win the fight, provided the other man's skill is not so great that his will is not tested. With combination punching, it's very important, but it also is a ladder of things. When you have a kid, a JO or a junior Olympic, as they say, you want to work on basics. You want to work on your jabbing, your hands up, your straight punches. You want to make sure you get everything down pat. When you go with a more advanced amateur, then you work on your combinations and your pivots and your step overs and stuff like that, and you really look towards advancing yourself as a fighter. And when you're a pro, you work on certain things for the person you're fighting. So if I have a guy that is a left-handed fighter, I'm really not going to work much. I'm going to work more on going to my left. I'm not going to work on going to my right. I'm going to work with finishing with my left hook, throwing the right hand down the middle, so forth and so on. The guy that used to train me, Jimmy Farrell, who showed me everything, said you need a good foundation. You can't build a house without a solid foundation. So when the fighters are kids, they have to learn how to jab, and they have to learn how to keep their hands up and their elbows in, and your straight punches and stuff like that, because when they get advanced, you have to be able to build off something. You have to put those elaborate combinations together, and you have to be able to gear towards somebody. So it's very important that when you are a kid starting off, or if you're training kids, you start with basics of boxing. Basics wins world championships. And then you get to a more established amateur, and you work longer, drawn out, more advanced combinations with maybe a head movement in there, and a step over, and a pivot. And then when you get to the professional level, you know the person that you're going to fight. So what you do is you pick that person, you take flaws that they have, their strengths, their weaknesses, and you put it in a game plan, and that's how you work it. Speed is a big concept in boxing. A lot of people say power is a big part and a big part, and you know what power is, but speed is the key. If you're a big puncher but you never hit me because you're too slow to hit me, then I'm really not sure how big of a puncher you are. If two people throw a punch at the same time, the person who gets it there first, that's the person that's going to get the better of the shot. So if I throw a right hand with Cheryl, even though I'm longer than Cheryl, she throws it faster than me. That's how my right hand looks. You know what I mean? You end up throwing a right hand like that because you're going to throw it, but you got hit right on the chin, so it has no accuracy. It has no speed, it has no power, it has no timing. Boom, that's what your right hand looks like. But if I beat her to the punch, whack, that's what her right hand looks like. So it's not so much load up, try to really drill somebody. It's being relaxed, and it's getting it, and it's just snapping that right hand. Snap. So someone's right hand looks like that. That's the speed aspect of it. Same thing with a left hook. If I throw a left hook the same time as Cheryl does, right here, if she gets it there first, that's what my hook looks like. Reversed, if I get it there first, boom, she can't hit me. If I'm going to hit you and you can't hit me, you're really not that strong. Right here. One more time. Left hook. Yep. Speed. A good way to increase your speed and get faster is to train speed. You don't want to train at a slower pace or at a 70% pace, because when you get into a fight, then it's going to be 70% for you, and the person will be going 100%, and that never fares well. So when you throw a combination, whether it's jab, right hand, left hook, you want to tell the person to go faster. You want to go as fast as you can. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out 6, 7, 8 punch combination. But whatever it is, it's got to be fast. And once you feel it, it's got to be faster. 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 Add a right hand. Come on. Faster. Faster. And again, you want to work combinations that you would work when you fight. So, you know, you don't want to work these long combinations because it's not going to work like that in a fight. You want to work catch a jab and jab. Faster. Faster. Okay? That's something we just did. You catch a jab, you jab back, but it's speed. Let's go 4-1-2. 4-1-2. Faster. Faster. 4-1-2-1. Everything you do, every time you do it, faster, faster, faster. Catch my right hand hook. Faster, faster, faster. So again, when you're training on the mitts, you train speed. Every team and every camp and every gym has their own secrets or words or phrases where their fighters know what they're talking about compared to other fighters. So if I was to say something to my fighter, your fighter wouldn't know what I was talking about. And the thing that I use is a number system that the late great Customato used to use. And it's just basically it's 1 through 9, and every number is a certain punch. We keep it simple. All the odd numbers are your left hand, and all the even numbers are your right hand. And again, if one of my fighters is in a fight and I yell out a number or a series of numbers, they know what I'm talking about and the other person doesn't. The other reason it's good is when you're training, it helps you out, again, work your speed. If I have to say to a fighter, jab, right hand, left hook, right uppercut, left hook, right hand, that takes a few seconds away. But if I can say, 7-2-1, 4-1-2-1, it's like, what? But my fighter can just rattle it off. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll have Eddie and Cheryl hit the mitts. We'll go with Eddie first. 7-7. 7-7. 7-7. 7-2. 7-2. 7-2-1. 7-2-5. That's it. 7. Catch my 7-7. 7-7. 7-2-1, no catch. 7-2-1. Yeah, again, right here. Yep. 7-2-1, 4. Yeah, again. 7-2-1, 4-1. 7-2-1, 4-1-2. 7. 7. Now I'll do the same thing, and I'll just have Cheryl hold it. I mean, all my fighters, they use the same system, same numbers. And again, it's a speed. 7. 7. 7-2. 7-2. Again. 7-2-1. 7-2-1-2. 7-2-1-2-1. 7-2-1, 4-1-2-1. Go ahead.
Over there?
Yep, right here. 7-2-1, 4-1-2-1. Again. 7. 7. 7. 7. Lean out 7. Again. Again. 4-1-2-1. 4-1-2. 7. 7. 7. 7. 2-1. 1-2. 1-2. 2-1. 1-2. You're dying. That's the number system. One of the harder concepts in boxing is fighting off the ropes. General rule is if you're not on the ropes, you don't have to fight off the ropes. You want to try to stay in the center of the ring. But in some point in time in your fight or in your career, you're going to be on the ropes. Reasons you don't want to be on the ropes is, first and foremost, the guy is pressing the action to you. If you're on the ropes, the guy's pressing the action, and that's what the judges see. And if you don't stop the guy, and after they score every round. So if your back is to the ropes and the judge is looking up at you and he sees your back, no matter what's going on, he's seeing that it's your back and the other guy's being aggressive. So you want to get out from there, and you want to get to the center of the ring and start boxing over again. Basic 2 ways to get out are right and left. You can't go back anymore, and the guy's pretty much on top of you, so unless you're bumping him going backwards, you got to get out right and left. When you get out to your left, you use your left hand. When you get out to your right, you use your right hand. Eddie will demonstrate it. We'll slow it down for you. When you're moving to your left, when you're getting out to your left, you want to get out with your hook, and you want to push the guy. Literally push him and pivot out. as we were doing with the steps, when you step to your right, step to your left, how you move your feet, it's the same thing only we're on the rope. So the hook comes, and he just turn them right out. And basically, if he was doing it to me, it would be here, hit the hook, and turn me right out. So let's do that. We're just going to put an uppercut in front of it because, as we were talking about, combinations is the key. And he just turns me right into the ropes. That's all. Shuffle back to the center. And then he gets to the center of the ring, and he can work. Same thing, just going to the right, you're going to finish with a right hand. Now, it's a lot harder to finish with a right hand and step to the right because you're not really completely out. You want to step and get underneath to get completely out and get to the center of the ring. And we'll put a couple punches together to do that. That's it. Nice and relaxed, sitting down. You're nice and relaxed, you're sitting down. You're as relaxed on the ropes as you are in the center of the ring. One more time. And then you get to the center of the ring and you stop boxing again. And again, if you're not on the ropes, you don't have to worry about fighting on the ropes. But when you are on the ropes, you want to get out of there as fast as possible so the judges are not influenced by you being on the ropes. If you're talking about accuracy, a couple things help accuracy. Mitt work, heavy bag work, double end bag work. But when you want to talk about accuracy, you want to aim for a spot on someone's body. And the word that I got was you aim for a dime. Everybody can punch, but the person who can place his punches or her punches is the person that's going to get it there and the person that's going to ultimately put you out. So one of the things is on the mitts, there's a circle in the middle of every mitt. You want to aim for the middle of that circle. You don't want to hit up, you don't want to hit down, you want to hit right in the middle of the circle. The other thing is sparring. Sparring develops your accuracy because there's no simulation like sparring. When you fight and you spar, it's kind of the same thing, just a little more intense. So when I'm boxing with somebody or when Cheryl's boxing with someone or someone like that, you want to aim for the spot, and that's when you want to work on your things and your accuracy. Your accuracy will come with timing. When you get your timing down pat, you'll know that you're accurate because you'll be able to land that right hand or that hook or that uppercut. But the things to work on with accuracy, aiming for a certain spot, hitting the bag, hitting the double end bag, hitting the mitts, and aiming for that dot on the mitts. A couple different styles of boxers is a brawler and a boxer. A boxer is more on their toes, more jabbing, moving, smooth, fluent. A brawler is someone who's in your face, who's going to bring it to you and really try to bang you all night. Ways to beat those is you got to do the opposite. If there's a brawler, you got to be a boxer. If there's a boxer, you got to be a brawler. You have to adjust. That's the difference between good fighters and great fighters. Good fighters are one way. They're either a brawler or a boxer. Great fighters can do both. You want to go opposite of the style. You want to put the other person in a non-comfortable situation. So Cheryl's a boxer, and she's a very good boxer. So I can't stay outside and box with her because she's just too fast for me. So I have to try to get inside, and I have to brawl her. But she's so good that when I go and try to maul her, she just steps around me. So every time I try to go get her, yeah, she's gone. Oh, here we go. You know, she's gone. She's gone. Yeah. So I'm trying to get her. Yeah, she's trying to get around me. I'm trying to get around her. I'm trying to press her. She's here. She's there. She's gone. So she has to continue to do what she does best, and that's box and move her feet, and step side and step side. Now with Eddie, he's more of an in-your-face, great uppercut, great right hand, great left hook, and he's going to try to push you to the ropes, and he's going to try to bang you and bang you. So I'm trying to box, and I'm trying to stay outside, and I'm trying to stay smooth, and he's trying to close the distance, and he's trying to get hit, and he's smothering me, and he's frustrating me, and I can't do nothing, and he's taking me out of my comfort zone. And once he gets here where he wants to be, he goes to work, you know. I'm hitting him, and I don't like to be here, and I'm trying to move away, and he's just closing the distance, and you put the person in a non-comfortable position. But again, the difference between good fighters and great fighters is they can do both. So if Eddie's in there with someone who's a brawler and trying to back him up, he can box and he can move and he can get on his toes. Same thing with Cheryl. If she's in there with someone who's slick and fast, she can bring it to you and she can come and get you too. Amateur boxing and professional boxing vary in different ways. Amateur fighting rounds can vary anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes, depending on your age and your weight, and with your experience, depends on whether it's 3 rounds or it's 4 rounds. Kids in general, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, they go 3 rounds, and they will go, depending on their age, anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes. When you get what you call an open class fighter, which has more than 10 amateur bouts, they're 4 rounds, and they're automatically 2 minutes, no matter age or weight. Automatic 2 4-minute rounds. Point system is implied in amateur boxing where it's hit and don't get hit. You can win a fight 1-0 if you believe it or not. The scoring blow, as I'll show with Cheryl, is the front part of the glove, which is a white part of the glove, which is right here. That's your scoring blow, and it's anywhere in the front. So if you go from the front of the headgear to the waist, anything in front is a scoring blow, and it has to hit clean. If my hands are up and Cheryl's punching at me, and I'm catching, that's no points. I'd have to hit her clean in the headgear or clean in the belly. That's your point scoring for amateurs. The other things with amateurs, thank you. The other things with amateurs is headgear. Amateurs are required to wear headgear, which are certified by USA Boxing, and they're required to wear a t-shirt or a tank top when they're in the ring. Professional style is a little different. Professional, there's no headgear, there's no t-shirt unless it's female, and the gloves are a little different. The gloves in professional boxing are 10-ounce gloves, where in amateurs they're 10s or they're 12s and they're a little more padded, but professional, they're ready to go. They're not padded, they're real tight gloves. The other thing with professionals is it can vary from anywhere from 4 rounds to 12 rounds. It's 3 minutes, but it's either 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12. And the thing with that is you have more time to set things up. When the amateurs, it's go, points. Professional boxing, you can set things up. You know, you'll hear a lot in professional boxing, state of the body, because you're trying to wear somebody down over 6 and 8 rounds. You're constantly taking body shots. That's going to wear on you. The other thing is, you know, it's more of a strategy. It's more of a game plan. I know what this guy's going to do, so I have to gear towards it. If it takes me 6 rounds, it takes me 8 rounds, so be it, but that's what I have to do. The other thing with professional boxing is aggressiveness, effective aggressiveness. You can be coming forward the whole time, punching. That other guy could be catching everything. At the end of an amateur bout, it might be 0-0. But at the end of a professional bout, it's 10-9 and you're up 1-0. So it's effective aggressiveness by backing somebody up, putting some punches on them, staying consistent with your game plan. It's no shirt unless you're a female fighter. It's anywhere from 4 rounds to 12 rounds, and it's automatic 3 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about holding the mitts. There's no wrong way to hold the mitts. There's no proper way, right, wrong. Just a couple things that I like to work on when you're holding the mitts is maybe having one target instead of the target's way over here, separated. Because when you're punching a person, their head isn't here and here. Their head is in one spot. The target doesn't move. It might move around the ring, but it's generally right here. If you're going to cross your mitts, so say they throw their left hand here and their right hand here, kind of keep one out in front of the other, because if you bring it back, it's kind of the same area. The only problem is when you do this, is the person now ends up punching here and here, which in reality they'd just be punching straight because that's where the person's head is. So when we hold the mitts, as I'm going to hold the mitts now, I'll demonstrate both ways. I'll hold the mitts like that. I'll cross them. And the other thing is, don't try to aggressively go after the punch. You want to absorb it. You want to, because you're going to hold the mitts for a lot of rounds, and it's going to a lot of shock absorption. It's going to hurt your elbows. So when someone punches at you, kind of catch it and go with it. Catch it and go with it. Jab. Yeah, jab. Jab. Jab right hand. Jab right hand. Jab right hand. Jab right hand, left hook. Again. Again. Cross. Again. Again. So those are just some basic ways to hold the mitts. The other thing you can do with the mitts is you can act like they're gloves. So when your fighter's punching at you, you can simulate a fight or you can simulate sparring. So if my fighter throws something at me, I can throw something back at them so they know. So for instance, Eddie will jab at me, and then I'll jab back at Eddie, and then he'll catch it and jab back at me. I know it sounds fast, but here's what we'll do. He'll throw a jab at me, I'll jab him, he'll catch it, and throw a jab back at me. Full speed, it looks like this. Same thing with right hands. So I'll throw a right hand at Eddie, and he'll catch it and come back with his own right hand. I can throw a right hand and a hook at him, and he comes back with his own left hook. Hook right hand. Out of the way. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Atta baby. Yep. Yeah. So when you're using the mitts, you want to also simulate the fight, because the person that you're going against isn't just going to sit there and eat punches and then not punch back at you. So you want to come as close to simulating the fight as possible. So again, you want to keep a pretty tight target. You don't want to be wide because that's not where the target is. If you're going to cross, keep them kind of close. Absorb the shock and punch back at the same time the person's punching you, so you can simulate the fight. Combination punching, you can start with basics and you can work your way up. So what we'll do is we'll start with a 2 or 3 punch combination, and then we'll work up to maybe a 4 or 5 punch combination, and then we'll show you a longer combination at the very end of it. So Cheryl will demonstrate a few combinations, and I'll have Eddie show you a few. So again, you start with the basics, 7-2, then you add the hook, 7-2-1, 7-2-1-2, yeah, 7-2-1. 7-2-1-2, 7-2-1-2-1, 7-2-1-2-1. And again, it's not a matter of longer, different punches. It's just putting another left hook in, another right hand in, maybe another uppercut. So that's basically your jab, right hand, left hook, and then so forth and so on. So let's throw a double jab right hand. 7-7-2-1. Again, that's just a jab, right hand, left hook with another jab added. I'll have Eddie show you a right uppercut with a left hook and then a right hand behind it. So 4-1-2. Yeah. The first combination that Cheryl threw is more of an outside when you're boxing and moving combination. This is more of an inside combination when you're here on the inside and the guy, he's not letting you throw the hooks, the wide hooks. So you pop his head up and then you drill it. A good move off of that is stepping over to your right. So Eddie will throw the uppercut, hook, right hand, and then he'll take one step to his right and he'll shoot another right hand. So what you're mixing in is the stepping over that we had worked on earlier into a combination. I'll have Cheryl demonstrate another combination where instead of throwing a left hook, you throw a left uppercut. So it's jab, right hand, uppercut. Purpose of that is the same purpose of throwing an uppercut. You want to split the guard. If she throws a jab, right hand, left hook real slow, throw right hand, left hook, I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to catch it. But if I mix it and throw one up the middle, 7, 2, 3, I can pop the head up. 2 behind it. Once you pop the person's head up, take it off. That's it. Go back to 1. 7. After all your combinations, you really want to start with your jab again, because it gets you back going, it gets you to where you want to be, it gets your base, it gets your balance, and it kind of just, it gets you settled again of, okay, you know, we're going back to it, we're going back to it. I'll have Eddie show you the body shots, putting your body shots together. A concept that I like is you never throw a right hand to the belly without the left hook behind it. Your hands should be like Siamese twins. You don't see one without the other. If you see the left, you see the right. If you see the right, you see the left. They should look the same. They should always be it. 6-5, hook it in. Now notice how he steps over with the right hook like we were working on, and then he turns the left hook up like we were working on, because you want to find that spot behind the elbow. That's it. That's it. Now you can do that off a jab. So 7, 7, 6, 5. That's it. Yeah. Straight 6, 5 off the 7, 7. Good. Now we'll have Cheryl do one more combination, a little longer combination. We're going to go through a whole, almost what you call a flow drill, where I know what she's going to do, she knows what I'm going to do, and we're just going to go right through it. Yeah. That's a longer, drawn-out combination, but it's more of a choreographed move where we just want to keep punching, keep punching, keep punching. Again, when you're punching in combinations, you want to start with your jab, and it's just a mix of putting punches together. It's all the basic punches, but it's all together. So I show you the jab, right hand, left hook, uppercut, uppercut, body shot, body shot, body shot. It's all the punches that we had already worked on. You're just putting them together. So 7, 2, 1, 7, 2, 5, 7, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 2, 7, 2, 1, 2, 7, 2, 1, 2. It's all those punches. It's just put together. That's combination punching. Running is a very key aspect of conditioning as far as fighting goes. When you get late into a fight, you're looking for that extra stamina. You want to run a couple times a week, and you want to run hard. You're only pushing yourself. You know, you're not cheating your trainer, you're only cheating yourself. Because when the fight happens, you're in there, and you're the person who needs to dig down for something. A couple running aspects. You could do sprints, distance. You could do 20 yards, 40 yards, 50-yard sprints. You could do suicides because you have to come back and forth and it's a constant change of direction. You could do distance, what helps you in the long run. When you sprint, it's that quick burst, quick burst, quick burst. But when you go distance, that's that extra round, that extra minute. When you run suicides, basically what a suicide is, it's a constant stop, go, change of direction. You can run it in a parking lot where you can use each line where a parking spot, so there's 2 spots. You start at a distance, you run, you stop, you change direction, you go back, you keep changing direction. But it's that constant sprint, constant sprint. You can do it on a football field where you go start at an end zone, come down, back, down, back. You go like 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, and you keep changing direction. Another drill is a treadmill drill that we do. It's 3 sets at 5 minutes at a constant incline. So you're running 5 minutes at a certain incline. You don't stop. You keep going for another 5 minutes, you increase it again. Then you go for the last 5 minutes and you increase it again. It's a constant uphill run. It's very, very, very tough on your legs, very tough on your calves. One of the main, we talk about stance and punches and accuracy and head movement and being in the right place. But the biggest part of boxing is wanting to be in the ring. This is not a team sport. This isn't basketball, baseball, hockey, football, soccer, where, you know what, if you screw up or if you're not as good, you can look to the other 2, 3, 5, 7 people in the field and say, help me out. This is your sport, and this is all about individualness. And when the bell rings, it's you and the person across the ring. It's not your trainer. It's not who trained you. It's nothing like that, because when the bell rings, these people can't go in the ring and fight for you. And if you don't have the determination and the desire to be in the ring and be in the gym every day and work hard on those summer days when your friends are at the beach or they want to go out on a Friday night and you're saying, no, I have to stay in, or no, I have to go run 5 miles, or I have to do something like that. That's the determination and the desire that's going to bring a different person out, because bottom line is, when that bell rings, the person across from you is trying to hurt you. They're not in here to touch gloves and play patty cake. They're in there to really hurt you. And if you're not in the ring to give that back, then you're in the wrong sport. Seven, take the step back, 2-1. Take a To help us do some demonstrations today is Cheryl Houlihan. I have been privileged enough to work with Cheryl for a little while now, and she's just a great fighter. Some of her credentials, she's a 4-time U.S. Women's National Champion at 2 different weight classes, 106 pounds, 110 pounds. She's a 2-time reigning defending PAL champion. She's a 2-time reigning, defending Pan Am gold medalist, which basically is an Olympic qualifier for the men, but because there's not Olympics for the women yet, it's almost, it's one of the biggest tournaments that there is, and she's a 2-time reigning, defending gold medalist. She's been on the elite women's national team for the last 4 years, which means she's the #1 fighter at her weight class. So she represents the women's team when they travel to, where have you been? Taiwan, Turkey, Argentina. She goes as the either 106-pound representative or 110-pound representative. And she won the 2004 Women's World Championship, which is the equivalent of the Olympics, and as far as women's boxing goes. It is a privilege and an honor to work with Cheryl. And she will show you things today that you're not going to look. You'll look at women's boxing different, but you're also going to look at a 5-foot-tall, 110-pound female as, I wouldn't want to get in the ring with her, because I know plenty of guys that she has boxed with that will say that. If I had to describe Cheryl, it would be, she's the Michael Jordan of women's boxing. If there's something to do in women's boxing, she's either done it or she will do it, and I can guarantee you that. Woo!
Keep him keep them over here. Well, Big don't help me out.
I don't want to give the secrets away.
This goes out on the internet and make it on America's Most Wanted. Well, you got to bring that up.
The champ. No doubt about it. Michael Jordan of female boxing. Swear to God, she's the best. 7-7 straight 6-5.
7-7 straight 6-5.
Yeah. Then 7-7 hook 6-5.
Huh?
Now the hook to 6-5. Oh baby, straight 6. Hook it. Straight 6. Hiccup. Move around a little. Turn a complete circle while you're doing it. Ah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Backwards. Oh, there it was. You had it. Come on. Why'd you stop? You had it. You had it. You were in the rhythm. You had it. Yeah, that's it right there. There you go. All right, one more time, as fast as you can push it.
This or spin?
Spin. Fast as you can push it. Fast as you can push it. Last time, come on. Push through. All right, get your breath. You gonna get it or no? That's good. That's good.
I think I have it on the run.
She's gonna want to do it now. Now, all right, I'm gonna be a real jerk and show you a sit-up routine that she does too. Hold on. I'm gonna be a real jerk and you're gonna do those sit-ups. Oh, you can, and you will. Come on. Stand up, punch at the top. Yeah, man. All set? Go ahead. Go ahead. 5 more. Give me 1 more. Yeah, man. You show him an upside down push-up?
Oh, totally.
Come on, you can show him one. You can show him an upside down push-up. Come on, show him one.
Wait, I've been working on that. I can do it. I can do it without the wall. But help me out.
You got it, man. I'm not gonna let you fall. You know that. Tuck your shirt. I'm with you. Kick him up. I'm with you. Can you do it without the? Come on, you can do it without me holding your feet. I know you
Do
can.
the one up and then I square up.
Okay.
Still.
That's what I'm talking about, right there. Go ahead, get out.